You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
Hello and welcome back to Chasing Excellence, a show about chasing what truly matters. My name is Patrick Cummings. As always, I'm here with Ben Bergeron. How the heck are you, dude?
I'm good, dude.
We are into week 2, not even week 2. I'm doing it again, episode 2. It's not a week. We're doing this twice a week now, Ben. I got to get used to this. We've got a new format, folks. If you perhaps didn't tune in last week, I'll do the quick, short version. We're going to take some of what worked in the old version of the show, take some of what we loved in the most recent format and kind of jam them together. We're going to show up in your podcast feeds twice a week now, Tuesdays and Fridays, with shorter, more focused episodes. Please do let us know what you think of this as we go. www.chasingexcellence.email. Get on the list, and that's the best way to communicate with us nowadays.
The hybrid model.
The hybrid, I like that. Yes.
A little bit of both.
This week, we're going to do two listener questions for folks who have been listening for a while. It's kind of be like what we called our warm-up before. This is going to be our whole episode. So we've got 2 questions, both of them inside of our Think Bucket. If perhaps you are brand new here, we do listener questions all the time where we take listener questions about the 5 factors of health, those few fundamental behaviors that most positively affect our performance, vitality, and longevity. 5 factors: how we eat, how we move, how we think, connect, and recover. Like I said, we've got 2 questions in our Think Bucket this time around. First one is from Mar. She's actually a premium member. Again, www.chasingexcellence.email. You can join us for a premium subscription. You get ad-free episodes, as well as lots of other stuff, including bonus content, conversations, and some challenges that we're doing over there. This is what she's got. I've been married for 45 years to my husband, who was a competitor when I met him, but over the years, he's evolved into having a victim mindset. My sister is the same, so between the two of them, I'm like a cheerleader pointing out either an optimistic or realistic mindset. It is easier to avoid my sister, but not my spouse. I try not to respond, but the coach in me doesn't want to see him go down the hole. Do you have any suggestions?
Wow. Married 45 years? Is that what, did I hear that right?
Married 45 years.
4-2-5 or 4D5?
4D5. 4-5.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time. I think that's as long as we've been doing the show, though, right?
45 years?
Yeah, that's about right.
I started this when I was 2. So I should be reaching out to her for advice. You know, she's going to know a whole lot more about this than I am. It's a challenging situation, right? Where you are surrounded by, it's one of the things that we think is super important, is surround yourself with people with the same values, same approach, and that lift you up. No drama, no gossip, no toxicity, just positivity and good vibes. That's what you want your life to be like. And when you know that people super close to you are not that, we should, as she is, do what we can to change it. You know, you got to do it with your spouse, your family, super tactfully, and also understand that you changing it is not the number one goal. Like, the number one goal is to continue to have a strong relationship with your spouse. That, like, you have to start with what is number one. So if you feel like going off the rails a little bit, you don't keep on driving until you drive right off the cliff. You go, whoa, we're taking a wrong turn here. Number one is that I need to make sure that I have a strong relationship with these people that I care about. So that's what I would start with. And the way I would start that conversation is not by being the cheerleader that constantly tries to remind about the positive or the realist mindset. Maybe we should back up a little bit for people that maybe are new to this. We have 5 phases of mindset. The lowest level is the victim. Really don't want to spend much time there. Above that is the pessimist, which is this sucks, this is terrible, points out all the negatives and the future is going to be worse than the past. Above that is the optimist, which is sunshine and rainbows, but at least they're not complaining. They might not be getting the most things done because it's going to be fine. Above that's the realist, which understands that there's good or bad and they can deal with it and they don't get rattled because things are bad. They don't dwell on things and they don't try to sugarcoat things that are. And then above that is the competitive mindset. The competitive mindset sort of gets excited when things go sideways because they see them as opportunities for growth. So when someone is perpetually stuck in that victim mindset, how do you work them out of it? First thing, it took them decades to get there. It's not going to get fixed in days, weeks, or months. That's just the way it is. What you're trying to do is unravel programming. And programming is deep-rooted. It's probably systematic of some pretty meaningful events that happened in people's lives. So you coming in and going, no, it's going to be fine. Like, this is an opportunity. And that's just going to further entrench. So I'd be careful about that one. The other thing is you certainly don't want to do that while battling. So you don't try to change character traits during the battle. You try to do that outside of the battle. So think of like literally like a soldier in a battle. It's when they are not being courageous, when they are acting unvirtuous, when they are not living to the standard that you have beset for your troops, that's not the time where you have a character lecture because it's not going to help. It's just going to further entrench. The time to do it is in peacetime. Now, it's hard because you don't want to disrupt peacetime. And that's why people don't do it. But it's not you. You don't start off with you. You start off with the theoretical concepts. And you just try to drip. You drip this thing. And what you're trying to do is create awareness of this thing, of the different phases of mindset and what they sound like. And what the benefits are and the dangers are of being in particular mindsets. If you are a victim, you make no change. That's it. You pass off all ownership and the world's out to get to me and there's not much I can do about that. And look at how unfair life is. And you just sit and wallow in misery. Whereas the competitor is the opposite of that. The exact opposite of that is bring it on. I know that this challenge, I know this adversity, I know this obstacle is the only way that I can become stronger. It's the only way I can grow myself as a human being. It's the only way I can evolve my soul. It's the only way. And you can do all the studying, reading, and all that stuff, but if you don't actually come up against it, it doesn't happen. All the studying stuff is getting ready for the challenge, and then the actual laying down of the myelin sheaths, the actual like synapses getting stronger and you becoming a more formidable being, you have to walk through the fire to do that. You just can't keep studying it. So having said that, you lay it out in peacetime. You create the awareness through the drip, 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 not the, hey, let me talk to you about this, and lay it all, just this constant like little drip of awareness, constant little drip of awareness. And what you're trying to do is change the environment. Very slowly, you're trying to change the environment. How do you do that? You can choose one of 10 dozen different tactics. You could create little bracelets for awareness. You could talk about it at dinner tables, like what's something you are grateful for, what's some challenges that you actually thought were going to be bad that were actually good. You could journal and share your journal with people. You could hey, have you listened to this podcast? Like, let's watch this movie. Let's go listen to this speaker. Let's go to this conference. Let's go to this getaway camp. You just kind of like bring it into the new environment. But what's the best way to do that? A CrossFit gym. Like, honestly, like if you want to be surrounded by people that don't have victim mindsets, that take ownership of their lives and are looking forward to challenges and see them as such, I shouldn't say every CrossFit gym, but the good ones will represent that. So it's this slow turning of the dial. It's not like, all right, Thursday at dinner, I'm going to have the talk. That's not the way to do it. Or next time that they say this, I'm going to, reframe it for them. You want to sort of just like slowly, it's the boiling a frog thing. You just slowly turn it up so much so they don't even notice it's happening. As opposed to dropping them in boiling water and they're going to hop right out. Like, F this. I don't want to be a part of this conversation. You don't get me. You don't understand this. Just surround it more than just you. The books you read, the movies you watch, the music you listen to, the podcasts you listen to. And when I say you, I mean you guys as a couple. Now, if he's entrenched in, politics and watching the news and doom scrolling, and that's going to be a hard disconnect. So you have to work on those disconnects, which is literally disconnecting. Mm-hmm. It's getting away from the triggers. What is setting him off on those victim paths, and find out what the triggering things are and try to remove them. Now, that's not the long-term strategy, because you just pulling the alcohol out of the house doesn't make someone not be an alcoholic anymore, because they're going to encounter it at some point. But it's hard to stop being an alcoholic with alcohol in the house. Mm-hmm. So you need to remove them from the triggering environments and take that for what you want to be. Is it, okay, we're going to go on a road trip in our, what are those streamline things? Is that what's called? What am I saying? Like those little
Winnebagos, like RVs?
Was it not a streamline?
No.
What is it? I'm really close with streamline.
Yep, you are very close.
I'm going to stick with it.
No. Oh, yeah. I don't remember. I know exactly.
Anyway.
They're silver. They're really nice.
They're silver. Yeah. And they're nice. So you take one of those things and you go across country, and you also don't need to be overly positive. Like, people have a tendency to balance out a little bit. If you're going to go into a negotiation, a hard conversation, you're going to go into something that you're in a conflict with somebody. So there's, in conversations, there is this sort of human nature to mirror and reciprocate, but there also is this innate desire to counterbalance, particularly when people are in conflict. Meaning that if you go into an I almost said argument, but a debate or some sort of potential hard conversation, and you list out the reasons that you believe something or you believe that you're right, they're going to counter with the reasons that you're wrong or the reasons they're right. If you come in and list out the things that you think that you might have done wrong, they're going to do the opposite and go, well, no, that wasn't that bad. It's a way of human nature. It's a way to up-level the conversations, is when you want to change someone's behavior, there's other ways to do it than saying, this is how I think you should change your behavior. Mm-hmm. They are probably going to go in the opposite way of that. So you have to be a little bit extra tactful, skillful in the way you approach that thing. And Airstream. It's Airstream. Not what did I say it was? There. Streamline? I said Streamline.
Streamline.
Airstream, trailers,
those are
campers.
Awesome. We should all get Airstreams. One quick recommendation, because you just reminded me of it, a book called Super Communicators by Charles Duhigg. One of the things, and really the book is based around this idea of figuring out how to recognize that great conversations are what he calls learning conversations. And the whole book, which I won't summarize poorly here, but I recommend it. The whole book is about how do we start to recognize and lean into and do better these learning conversations. I think that's a lot of what you're saying, is going into these conversations that Mara's having with her husband or her sister, first with a curiosity mindset and not a judgment mindset, because that really is honestly what it comes down to, is you're in the victim mindset and my job is to fix that, versus how did you get here? Because I think it's really interesting. She said that her husband started off as a competitor. I don't know if that means a competitive mindset or just like he literally was a competitor, but somewhere along the line over these 45 years, something changed. And I bet she has an idea of what it is, but I bet she doesn't have all the idea. So going into these conversations with seeking to understand first, I think is really, really valuable. And it's really easy to not do that. It's really easy to assume that you have all the answers and to assume that that person's broken and my job is to fix them. But to the point you're making, it's like that never works out. That never doesn't go poorly.
That never doesn't go poorly.
Yes. So important that it needs a double negative.
We were talking about our character, which I think is what we're talking about, the next question you said. But we as a team were discussing, humble, hungry, happy. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we talked about was not being, do we want to use this as one of the descriptors, is like being non-judgmental, being curious, not judgmental. And Dan, who you know, Dan,
Good old
Dan goes, yeah, instead of like, being curious, you don't want to be judgmental. You don't want to say like, you're an a-hole. You want to go like, I wonder why you're such an a-hole. Be curious about it. Like, why are you such an a-hole?
I have one more thing, but it reminds me of something my grandfather said to me once, like 10 years ago. He's since passed. But he yelled at me one day, and he used to yell at me all the time because we disagreed on everything. And he sent me a note the next day or a week after. And effectively the note said, I'm sorry you're an asshole. But it was as close as he could get to actually apologizing to me.
For that generation, that's pretty good for an apology.
I know. I love him. I miss him. And that's one of my favorite memories of him. But first, as we wrap up this question for Mar, I think one of the things you said that you went over kind of quickly, but I think it's worth double clicking on, which is like during peacetime is when we want to have these conversations. And it's also when we don't want to have these conversations because, it's actually peaceful here.
Yeah. Right.
So there's that. It's not pressure, but it's like you got to put pressure on yourself to say, yes, okay, we're calm. He's not doing that thing that really annoys me about getting in the victim mindset. But now's the time to actually have this conversation because it's the only time he might be receptive. If I do this well, if I go into this as a learning conversation, this is the only chance we have to actually have a conversation about it and it not end up being me pointing at him and him pointing at me.
Yeah. And what's really interesting about that is it highlights you. So if you can have this conversation during peacetime and they do get triggered, can you not get triggered? Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to. It's like, are you able to have these, because they're going to say something back to you, whether they're triggered or not. Are you able to not be triggered? When you know that you can't, when you truly are centered, when you truly are calm, when you truly are emotionally mature, when you are unrattleable, you feel comfortable and confident having those conversations in peacetime. This is a good litmus test for ourselves. If you aren't, you're like, I'm going to say this. I know that they're going to say something back like that, and that's going to set us off. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, like if you are able to have those challenging conversations and you don't get rattled, which truly is what we all want to, it's a good litmus test for ourselves is, are we able to have the hard conversations without us bring it back to us. What can we control?
Okay. You hinted at our second question all about happy, hungry, smart. We're going to get into that momentarily, but first, quick word of thanks from a few sponsors. We're brought to you this week by Bond Charge. Raise your hand if your sauna can fit underneath your bed. You cannot see me, but I'm raising my hand. Ben's raising his hand too. If you want to do the same, go to bondcharge.com, use the code excellence and save yourself 15% site-wide, whether you're looking to get your own sauna blanket or blue blocking glasses, sleep masks, or some red light therapy. The Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket heats the body directly at a lower temperature, but with all the same benefits as a traditional sauna. It's easy to set up, heats up in minutes, and it's even HSA, FSA eligible, giving you tax-free savings of up to 40%. It's a rare night here that either my wife or I aren't using the sauna blanket. It's easy to set up, simple to use, and the best excuse to spend an hour watching Netflix that I can think of. Don't miss out on one. Use the code excellence at bondcharge.com to save 15% site-wide, free shipping, and a 12-month warranty. If you're tired of Netflix and chill, we invite you, wait for it, to Netflix and sweat. You're welcome, Ben, for that terrible joke. We're also brought to you this week by the Defender family of vehicles. For those who embrace the impossible, the Defender family of vehicles is up for the adventure. The Defender has been redefined with thoroughly modern design. Built with robust materials and integrity, it's ready for off-road challenges and harsh weather conditions. Learn more about these beauties at landroverusa.com/defender. The Defender 110 lets you go further and do more, whether you're facing off-road challenges or planning a family road trip, or, of course, planning an off-road family vacation, as one does. Nothing says make memories like screaming at Dad from the back seat as he bushwhacks through the woods in his Defender, refusing to stop and ask for directions. With cargo capacity, there's plenty of room for your gear, and with innovative camera technologies, you'll have unobstructed views and effortless maneuvering. We talk about pushing boundaries and exploring new territories, both metaphorically and literally here on the show. What better way to do that than with the Defender? It's not just a vehicle, it's a lifestyle, one of adventure, exploration, and embracing the impossible. So whether you're planning your next big adventure or just eager to try something new, head to LandRoverUSA.com/Defender to learn more. It's time to embrace the impossible with the Defender family of vehicles.
Our show is like elevating. We have like Land Rover.
They're beautiful cars.
That's amazing. They sent me 3. I like the white one the best.
I'm keeping all 3 though.
Oh yeah. They said that we could choose which one we wanted, and I was like, well, I really like all of them. They're like, all right, you can keep them all.
I have an 11-year-old. He's going to want to drive at some point, so can we just keep this in the driveway? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, but Land Rovers are dope. I love that. I'm going to call this out, and maybe I shouldn't, but Netflix and chill, like to me, I always thought that was like, let's put on some Netflix and chill out. I use that term and someone called me, they're like, that means like having sex, right? I was like, what? So you just use that term?
That. Yeah.
And you just use that, and I was like, just so you know, everyone else is going like, what did he just say? Because I'm in the know now. I'm hip. I know these things. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some serious business here. We got a question from Britt. And this is actually a great one because I meant to bring this up when we were recording our episode or our conversation around the book club. Book club is Patrick Lencioni, is the ideal team player. Britt asks, can you explain your definition of happy as it pertains to the model, humble, hungry, and happy, and how it compares to Lencioni's term, smart? So just as a reminder, the 3 principles in Lencioni's book is humble, hungry, and people smart. You've twisted it, changed it, evolved it over the years to humble, hungry, and happy. And I meant to ask you why happy and not smart. So this is a great excuse. So thanks, Britt.
Pretty obvious for anyone that's listening. It's an acronym.
The Triple H.
HHS doesn't work. Like humble, hungry, smart.
Yeah.
First off, okay, so the reason is smart. So it's great. I'm not smarter than Lencioni. This isn't a better term than Lencioni. He's correct.
Yes.
But right away, he also goes like, it's not the smart you're thinking about. It's this type of smart. So right away, you kind of have to reclassify it and explain it. When you say happy, there's less to explain. It's like, are you happy? Do you make other people happy? If that's the case, you probably have some semblance of people smarts. So where Lencioni is really talking about emotional intelligence and your ability to be a strong communicator with other people, we just expand upon that a little bit and define it. We use the term happy. And it's so funny. When we were doing this, it was myself, Harry Pally, and Ali LeBlanc, and we were trying to figure out what the right words are, and we were going through it, and we're like, what is it? I can't figure it out. It's smart, isn't it? But what is it? And we were doing the thesaurus thing, and somebody did like words that start with H, and they were like, happy. And we were like, duh, it's exactly that. And the reason it's exactly that is happy people don't whine. Happy people don't complain. Happy people don't make excuses. Happy people like to be at work. Happy people make other people happy. Happy people are really good communicators. Happy people like being a part of a team. Happy people are the type of people you want to be around and take that 5-hour car ride with solo. They have good body language. They're strong communicators. So it's taking everything that Lencioni did, but then brings it out to another layer of the onion and maybe a third layer. We not only are emotionally intelligent and quote, people smart, but it's also people that don't get rattled easily. It's essentially at least a realist in terms of what we're looking for, if not that competitive mindset, certainly at least an optimist. And it's really, to me, if I was thinking about being on a team, I want people who have the right vibe. Mm-hmm. The vibe is big. To the point where when we started to lose our way a little bit as a gym going through and coming out of COVID, like I think every gym, like we just really lost our mojo, lost our way. We lost the vibe. We started we called our all hands meetings on Mondays. We called them Mojo Mondays.
I remember.
We want to get the mojo back. And we talked a lot about the vibe. And Heather became our CVO. Like she wasn't working and she came back into business to be our chief vibe officer because we just want to like create that happy place again. And that's the deal. We want to surround yourselves with people that make you better. No drama, no toxicity, no gossip, just positivity and good vibes. Like that's happy people. And to me, it is more memorable than HHS, the Humble, Hungry, Happy. And it, to me, is a little bit more all-encompassing than just being, because to me, the People Smart is you're just a good communicator. It's like, that's like, I want more than that. Mm-hmm. I want truly somebody that is enthusiastic about the work, not just as a hard worker and humble and is a good intercommunicator. I want somebody that actually elevates the team with their energy and their enthusiasm. So that was the reason for it. We made that move. It stuck. Not to say that we don't fall back to the smart thing every now and then when we're trying to figure out if what we're talking about is the right thing.
Mm-hmm. I love the explanation of how you think about happy, because I think when people think of happy, too often it can be just like smiling all the time or goofy or bubbly or something else. And that can be part of it, and that can be part of somebody's personality, but that's not the be all end all. That's not what happy really means.
Yeah, it's not that though. Like we want people we want people with enthusiasm. We want people that enjoy what they're doing. And if you are stone-faced, you can be one of the best communicators in the world. Like, one of the best communicators in the world. Like, maybe I was about to say, like, would Steve Jobs fit that in terms of the people smart, but he certainly wasn't, right? Mm-hmm. But he was a great communicator, like a phenomenal communicator. So you might get tricked into that a little bit. If you go with Steve Jobs happy, he would not fit our thing because he was mean. It is not bubbly and not giddy as a descriptor, but it certainly isn't whatever the opposite of that is. And we've had people on the team that are good communicators, that have good high-level emotional intelligence, that know how to communicate inside of a one-on-one setting and a team, but they didn't have good language when they were in front of a group of people coaching. They took it too seriously. And we can't do that. Like, it's educate, and then the next two are entertain and inspire. Mm-hmm. That's what we have as a bunch of our team. We have people that should be entertaining, inspiring each other. You should be excited about what you're doing. And maybe the word is excited, but it's closer to excited than it is bubbly and giddy.
All right. Thanks to Britt and Mar for those questions. If you would like to get a question into a future episode, we would surely love it. www.chasingexcellence.email. Get on our weekly email list. We'll send out a link to a form. You can submit your questions. We will do our best to get it into a future episode. We thank you for tuning into the show. We certainly hope you like this new format. Ben and I will be back next week for a few more episodes of Chasing Excellence.
Well done.
Thank you. I remembered this time.